What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Lumsden Motorsports Garage. I'm Wade Lumsden, and today we're actually going to do a little bit more on the Tuff truck. My original plan was to get to work on the modified, and I actually started a video for that, but I'll explain to you why we're going to jump on the Tuff truck instead. Okay, so yeah, gonna start working on the Tuff truck. Main reason here is I got a lot of work to do on the Tuff truck, like probably twice as much work to do on the Tuff truck as I do on the modified, and I'm starting to run out of time. But other things here, I had a bunch of stuff come in, some brackets. I've got a bunch of different ones to try out, my wedges to fix my pinion angle, my HEI distributor that I got. It's going to be my one wire distributor for the truck. All that stuff came in, some other goodies. So yeah, I mean, here in the last day or so, lots of good stuff has shown up. But the most important thing that I got, I actually picked up yesterday, and that is my tubing. That's right, boom. Got 3 sticks of tubing. I might go over this a little bit more later in the video when I actually have the tubing out and we start bending stuff and going through that. But kind of want to have this conversation now. Conversation, rant, whatever you want to call it. But I had a heck of a time getting some tubing. As you know, the world is short on everything right now, and I called to get 3 sticks of 1.5 inch 120 wall DOM, so drawn over mandrel tubing, which is what I build my cages out of. I don't ever suggest not using DOM, I mean, unless you're going to go with chromoly, but you know, DOM is pretty much the standard for a roll cage. Instead, I ended up getting the electronic welded pipe, which means it has an actual like welded seam. So that blue seam that's on the pipe, let's see if I got, yeah, so here's like a piece that I cut out. So here's a blue seam, right? And if you look inside, it's all very consistent, right? There's no dip, there's no nothing. That's drawn over mandrel, makes it all like one good solid piece. Whereas this electronic weld, it's literally a weld that's holding the 2 ends of the piece. Because if you could imagine this piece of pipe here as a flat piece of plate, right, that's being drawn over something round to turn it into a piece of pipe, and then the seam being welded, that's what the electronic weld is. I think it's like HWS or whatever they call it. I ended up going with that. Main reason, my quote for 3 sticks of pipe of DOM was just over $1,100. Yeah, I about had a heart attack. That's like 18 bucks a foot, guys. Which, to say the least, is absolutely ridiculous. You know, there was a time there when it was like, you know, way less than $3 a foot. So it's Yeah, I about had a heart attack. So for you guys that are thinking about building something, you know, scrapping your cars, and building something new or something like that, price out your pipe, guys. Right now, price out your pipe. See if it's worth another season on your car, another season on your truck. Because if I would have done that, other than the shocks, other than the coilover shocks that I just ordered, I would have had, you know, more money into pipe than I did into the truck. Like it was quite ridiculous. So the seam welded stuff, I got 3 sticks. Again, a ridiculous price for this pipe, but just, I think it was like $350. So like huge difference there. But still, man, take that stuff into consideration before you retire a car this year, and try to build something for next year, unless you're a guy that has, you know, 5 sticks, 6 sticks of DOM sitting out on a rack out in your barn or something. I mean, really think about it, because when I got that quote for pipe, I had started regretting cutting and chopping everything that I did off this truck. If I had known it was going to be that much, I would have probably left my truck alone, to be honest. Because again, I'm a fan of doing everything in DOM, but I made an exception this time to go with the welded seam, mainly because everything else on this cage right now, my main portion of my cage and the whole back and everything, that's all DOM. I'm happy with it. But I'm gonna end up making my front hoop out of this welded stuff, and I'm just hoping that that's going to be good enough. I mean, if you if you do a little bit of research on it, if you want to equate what my 1.5-inch 120 wall welded pipe would be, it would be about the equivalent in strength of 1.25-inch DOM. So basically a size down in DOM, same strength. So that's a rough if you're just trying to think about it. So I kind of wanted to talk at you and rant a little bit about the price of pipe and that it's ridiculous, and give you guys warnings. I know we're coming to the end of race seasons right now, and that's when most guys either start ripping and tearing into their stuff, or start building something new. So keep that stuff in mind. Granted, when I built that stuff in the truck earlier this year, I about had a heart attack. That's 3 sticks of pipe, and those 3 sticks of pipe was just over $800 to put in what I did put in, and then it's still going up, and up and up and up in price. So man, really look at it, look at your options. I suggest always building your cage out of DOM. That's pretty much the standard anymore for a cage, but yeah, just be careful on your decisions. Do your research. Maybe somewhere across the country you guys are getting cheaper steel than I am, but that's my story as far as pipe goes. But now I got pipe. I also have my exhaust tubing, aluminized exhaust tubing. I got sticks of that so I can run my coolant lines, but I'm wanting to put my front hoop in first so I know where my coolant lines need to go. So with that being said, I really need to get to work on getting a front hoop in here, because there's a lot of things that are waiting on getting that stuff in. Plus, the goal this time will be to actually get my truck out to Fallon the week before Tuff Truck. So really I've only got like 2 weeks to finish this thing up, because we'd like to get it parked out with a sign and let people know that Tuff Trucks are in town, and all that happy stuff for the week before. Plus, I don't want to have to scramble to try to get my modified to the track and the truck to the track all on the same weekend. So gonna get to work here. First thing I'm gonna do, I still have so these are 2 pieces of 120 wall that I had left over from when I was doing all this other stuff in here. My first piece that I need to put in is I'm going to put in a crossbar from one side of my cut frame to the other side of my cut frame. So I'm going to clean this up. If you really look, you can tell I'm not the straightest of cutters here. You can kind of see a little bit of a bow. I put a piece of angle up against there and realized that I had a nice bow in the center. So I'm going to get that cleaned up. Same thing on this side. So I get that stuff cleaned up, and then I'm going to use a piece of 120 wall of that stuff to connect my frame rails, because I really want that to be strong. And I think I still haven't 100% made up my mind, but here we go. But I think my front hoop, I'm going to actually come out and connect to that bar. So I want that bar to be something that's nice and thick and rigid and strong. So sorry for the rant. Time to actually get the bender pulled out. It's back here in the garage. I will tell you, I'm using this is my 1.5 inch 5-inch radius bender die, which is, I think, pretty much the only die I got, actually. And when you're choosing a die, your die radius should be 2 to 3 times the length of the diameter of your pipe. So I'm using 5 inches. I'm using a 1.5 inch piece of tubing. So 2 times that is 3. 3 times that is 4.5. So just over 4.5 for my radius on my die. That's the rule of thumb for when you're picking your radius of die. So don't go and buy yourself a 2-inch radius for something that's 2 inches in diameter. That I guess for some applications, but really what you want to do is keep to that rule of thumb, and should be all savvy. So but I need to get this thing out, and I keep calling this thing mine. It's not actually my bender. This would be my dad's bender. I've been holding it hostage. It's got this. It's hydraulic, which is absolutely fantastic. It way beats doing it by hand. So this one's got a hydraulic ram on it, and we mounted it to a semi wheel. That seems to work for us. We can move it around. It's extremely heavy to move around, but we can move it around and we can get things done. So I got to get this pulled out. I got to get pipe pulled out. I got to get stuff cleaned up and start getting things kind of going here, because we're running out of time. Here it is. Right now it's Thursday. Yeah, right now it's Thursday. I have this upcoming weekend and the next weekend pretty much to get this done. So I'm shooting to get this done in a matter of 14, 15, 16, 17 days. Yeah, here we go for the 17-day thrash. But I got to work on the truck as much as I can in the daylight, because it is parked outside. At least with the modified, it's inside the garage where I have light, and I'm not doing any major fabricating on it. So I'll be able to work on this at night without really disturbing my neighbors. I still technically live in the city and I still have a sound ordinance. So anyways, gonna get to work here, and I'll be back at you in a bit. Man, we're starting to run out of light fast anymore. But anyways, so I got my crossbar in here. I don't know, I kept staring at it. It's an optical illusion if you think it's not in there square. That bad boy's in there pretty square. It might be off by like a 1/16 of an inch or something, but yeah, so that's in there. I got to get that welded in. But one of the next little things I'm gonna do, and I guess I dropped my piece on the ground over here. Let me all right, I got a piece of plate here, and once the pipe is welded in, so that pipe's going to get welded in. Once that's in there, take this plate the front here. Still a little toasty where I tacked it, but we'll get the plate on there, both sides, and then that should be pretty decent and ready to rock and roll. And then I can start running hoop bars, which actually I don't have to have that piece plated in to start, you know, measuring and cutting my hoops. So I am going to attempt to get those measured, possibly cut, maybe bent. I don't know, it's getting dark pretty quick. If it gets too dark, I will most likely end up stopping, but see how much more we can do. All right, trying to make some headway here. My brother is currently in town. You can hear him in the background welding. He's down there. He's down there yelling ouch because of hot things. But we're getting the pipe welded in. He's welding the pipe in first, or at least the front part of the pipe. And then I know he still has the back side to do over here, and then we're putting the plate on. And he's getting a nice good set in there, and that's gonna be awesome. So once that stuff's in place, it's pretty much done for the night. But I know that tomorrow I'm gonna be able to really start hitting the front hoop hot and heavy. Got to get the bender moved outside. It gets dark too quick now. I liked it when it wasn't dark until like 10 o'clock at night, but not the case now. Yeah, I'll call it for this video. Mostly it was me complaining about the price of pipe, and just slowly getting started on actually putting stuff together. But with the weekend rapidly approaching, and now that we have materials, I've already kind of mocked out a little bit of what I want for the front hoop and for the front bumper, so we'll be able to just start going, cutting, bending, and rock and roll. The next big weight for the front hoop portion stuff will be waiting for the coilover shocks to show up. So all right, so that's going to be it for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Any questions, comments, concerns down below. Hit us up on the Lumsden Motorsports Facebook page for a t-shirt. We'll get that figured out, how to get that to you. Send me a message there. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you next time.